Hello and welcome to On the Way Moments, a podcast of St. Anthony on the Desert here in beautiful Scottsdale, Arizona. And on this podcast today, we're going to take a look back at the year 2021. It was a good year. Not great.
Not great, no.
Great kind of denotes no struggles. And of course, 2021, we're still struggling through life during a pandemic and all that. But we're going to shift our focus and look at all the good stuff that's happened, particularly here at St. Anthony.
Yeah, absolutely. And there were a lot of good things.
Yeah, I mean, we have our annual report coming up. That's it will highlight most of these, but it's some good stuff that we've. So we've kind of sat back and pulled a few things. So Jill, why don't you
made a list?
Made a nice list here. So Jill, why don't you take us away with the
Okay. Well, I think the biggest thing for the year was the way we kicked off the new year, and that was with the arrival of Father Bruce Jackson.
Yes.
And this has been an incredible year because of him.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, for sure. For sure. It's been a joy to have him and to learn from him.
Oh, his sermons have just reached all of us, and he does a Bible study every week that's just been amazing. Yep. And plus, he's the sweetest man ever.
Most genuine person I know. So we were lucky.
God was watching over us for sure.
For sure. And so, to kind of piggyback on that, Father Jackson, what is the interim? And so we did start our rector search, and there was an amazing group of people that were on that committee that would meet. You guys would meet like weekly and sometimes twice. It felt like all the time.
It was quite a process.
Yeah. And creating, I think, which I still think is one of the best what's the word?
Parish profile.
Parish profile I've ever seen. I think it's the best publication that's ever come out of St. Anthony.
Which Parish Profile is just a story about us.
Yeah.
Where we've been and where we want to go. Yeah. And who's that special person that we want to go with us?
Because it's a big process. I didn't realize that it would take, and we're still in the middle of it, and it's a great process. It's been a year, but like you said, we've had Father Jackson, so
it's been perfect.
We're not in a huge rush.
No. And then the other really big thing for the year is Will's return. So the prodigal son came back. And we are thrilled to have him back as our youth minister.
It's great to be back.
So welcome.
Thank you.
Our youth minister and podcast host. And
catch-all.
Soon to be live streaming.
Yes.
So we're really excited.
I'm excited.
Happy. So happy you're back.
It's really good to be back, and I think one of the things that really has kind of, even when I was away, being able to watch the live stream, being able to watch what was posted onto YouTube, and that's been a huge thing. I mean, I've only sat in 2 weeks on what you guys do in Mission Control Room, and it's a well-oiled machine, and it's incredible. I mean, I feel like and I don't know, maybe I'm just so proud of St. Anthony, but it's a very professional setup back there, and when you watch the live stream online, you're like, wow, that is some nice, some good camera angles, some good
by the grace of God,
trial and error, and it's been really cool. I mean, we've had over 5,500 YouTube visits. We live stream every week, and a lot of people.
We've made a presence online.
Yes. Yeah.
So, and we're going to stay there too.
Absolutely.
COVID made us do it, but now we're comfortable there, and we're going to stay there.
Well, and it's so cool to hear, like, when the people get up to do the announcements, so the vestry members get up and they're like, we want to welcome not just the people who hear, but also the ones who are watching online.
Right.
Like, everybody has bought into this, that this is what we need, and this is the way that we're moving. Even post-COVID, this is still going to be the way that the church moves forward and creates that presence. Right. With over 5,500 people, visiting our YouTube, just the online services. That doesn't even include all the podcasts and everything else we post. So
yeah,
we're there.
Which leads us into
That's right.
The initiation
Dun, dun, dun.
of our podcast.
Our on the way moments.
And we had last year 14 episodes.
That was season 1. Welcome to season 2.
Yeah.
We're here.
That's right.
We are on season 2
We didn't
now.
even have a
Man.
big follow-up. Yeah. Here we are in season 2.
That's right. So
So the podcast, I have to throw out thanks to my daughter for encouraging us to do this. Yeah. And it's been so much fun, such a joy.
And to the point where we even had a Christmas tree that highlighted, right, at the Fountain Hills Community Center.
Yes, in their Christmas tree exhibit, we had one that highlighted each of our 14 episodes with pictures. And it was a beautiful tree, and it just was really very exciting to see that. And to see that the podcast has been so well received.
Well, and the award that we won back at a diocesan convention, best in, what is it, I'm looking at it right now, good news in the storm. And good news in the storm, best use of technology.
Yeah, and that was from all the churches, the Episcopal churches in the state. Yeah. So we were pretty excited about that. And that was a surprise.
Yes. Yeah.
That was a surprise to say the least.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, and then our ministries just went nuts. Yeah. Even though we had to adapt everything to not being in person. Yeah. And children's ministry. Our children's minister, Suzette, just did a yeoman's job of keeping our families in contact with one another. And now they're back in person. Yes. Yeah. And they're doing such great things. They do outreach cards to shut-ins. Yeah. Or people in our congregation who haven't been able to come back. They did cards for poinsettias that the youth group took to these people. They collected backpacks for some of the schools down in Phoenix that the kids could use some help. And they meet every Sunday for godly play. Yeah. So they are in action.
They're rolling. It's so cool to see that. And it's funny because sometimes I'll go pick, let them know that it's time to come back to the church, and just to see them, the kids, and I mean, they're just having a great time over there. They are learning, and just it's so super fun. And and then it kind of leads me to think, not just children's ministry, but also youth ministry picked back up in April when I came back on, and we've had a good conversation, great conversations. We had a wonderful little Christmas party, but I think the best thing to highlight was the youth group reunion a couple weeks ago, where we invited all the past and present youth to come and hang out, and youth leaders, and we ate, we laughed, we had a good time, we reminisced, we played some games, and it was just
it was very fun.
For sure.
It was very fun being with the kids that we had, who are now all amazing adults.
Yes, absolutely.
Shane.
That's right.
It was just such a good time, and it was fun to see the kids that we have now in the youth group interact with the ones who have gone before, because they're, that's who they look up to.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they're able to see what they're doing with their lives, and plus it's just so much fun being with these people. Yeah. It's a great time.
It was that was for sure the highlight, I think, of youth ministry this year,
too.
For sure.
Loved it.
Man, so that's just something, and then even our other ministries that are on Zoom now.
Yeah, we've had so many switch over to Zoom,
and it's flourished. Like our seasoned saints are doing Thursday happy hour once a month, where they just have a good time, good conversation.
And our avid readers, the group always had quite a few snowbirds in it. And now that people aren't traveling, especially our Canadian friends, aren't really traveling down here, the Zoom has been just a lifesaver, keeping all these groups still intact. And people don't really have a reason not to be able to join in.
Right, exactly.
Well, besides hating Zoom. But, we love Zoom,
We love Zoom now.
Yeah, we love it. We love it.
So, and I tell you, the Wednesday Bible study with Father Jackson has been...
he's
just dynamite.
He knocks it out of the park.
it's just fun to hop on and
Yeah.
just hear him talk and hear everyone's kind of questions and interactions.
And then our circles of grace, which started at the very beginning of the pandemic, they're just small group discussions via Zoom, just to keep everybody in touch with each other because we weren't meeting in person at all.
Right.
And they're out of quite a few groups that were started, there's still some active groups that do a variety of things. I know mine, we do book discussions.
Nice.
And other ones do current events, and some just catch up.
Yeah.
So these circles, it's been great because, again, you don't have to be local to be in one of the groups.
Yeah,
so that's worked out really well.
Yeah. And even just talking about more online stuff, we've kind of shifted our online art presence to, we used to have it in the parish hall, it was beautiful artwork, and now we've shifted it all to online. So if you want to see it, go to our website.
And the amount of people who now see our art exhibits is so much more than the ones who just came in for coffee hour, who would see them hanging on the wall. And like this month, we have an artist who lives in Germany who is the exhibitor.
Wow.
So she's having the time of her life, having an exhibit here in the United States, and we can do that now.
That's awesome. I didn't know that. That's really cool.
Yeah, so that you'll
I'll have to check that out.
Check that out on the website.
There's been some really good stuff up there. And so
it's been good. It's been good.
And then, and speaking of our website, I think that's been something that has you've had that as your baby for a long time, and this year 16,000 plus unique views, with a presence on Facebook and Instagram, and just again, it's that expanding what St. Anthony is and who St. Anthony is, and our presence. And so again, if you haven't been to our website, come on over and check it out. Yeah.
And that's how we get connected to so many people before they step one foot on the campus. They've already checked everything out.
Anywhere I go now, I will always look at the website before I go somewhere.
Well, you like to know what you're in store for.
Yeah. And so I think that's how we get these 16,000 plus unique views is people just, hey, what's this church about?
Yeah, so. Absolutely.
And one of the things we are about
is outreach. In fact, for the past, I've been here since the mid-90s, outreach has always been a really important thing here at St. Anthony, to the point where it's more expected that you're going to be involved in an outreach. It's up to you what kind of outreach that might be. But our outreach ministries have done a great job this past year.
Yes, they have.
It's been very exciting. Again, flexible.
Yep.
They've had to adjust because you can't do things the same way anymore. But that's okay. Sometimes when you do the same things the same way, it loses the excitement. And this year was very exciting.
It was very exciting. We did this. I made me think of one of the outreach things we did was the school bus that Bob Groom has kind of
with
Arizona Diamondbacks.
Yeah.
He spearheaded that for several years, and I had the chance to go this year, and just these kids are so excited.
Explain what that is.
So these kids, and usually this one was at Yavapai Elementary down in South Scottsdale area, and this giant bus shows up, and this bus has been converted into a shopping mall. But they have dressing rooms. So the kids can come on and they will pick out clothes. They'll pick out some shirts, they get some new shoes, they get a jacket, and then they try on the clothes, make sure everything fits, and then they'll go and take it home with them, and they get a backpack. And so it's kids that not just only need it, but it's everybody who just needs some help, and it's just a wonderful experience. And so I had always heard it, but I had never done it, and I was so blessed to do it this year. So it was for sure one of the many highlights from this year, of one of many, and we'll touch on a few others. And
Habitat.
Yes.
And we've had John Tom on.
You'll find out.
And you'll find out. His episode is coming up, and talking about how Habitat is continued during during the pandemic and really flourished.
Doing really well, yeah.
Yeah,
And so,
they're
like, I
doing
don't want to
well.
ruin any of that. So.
No.
We
So
got it
he's
coming
got
up. Yeah,
he's got a lot to say
He
about
does,
that.
yeah. And MOSA, which is
MOSA,
Men of St. Anthony.
Men of St. Anthony.
Go ahead.
They take meals down to the East Valley Men's Shelter in Mesa, and they used to cook them there, but now they can't do that. But they still take meals down every month, and which is much appreciated by
for sure.
the 100 men who live down there.
Yeah, and they also have the bikes down there. They donated 50. We have 51 bikes this year.
Bikes they donated
awesome.
last year, because that is the main mode of transportation for the residents who live there, is by bicycle.
Yep.
So
That's
so that was wonderful. And then Haiti.
So a lot of you have listened and watched Jeans, but this year in particular, we sent money for solar panels on the school. We funded 2 mobile medical clinics for after the earthquake and the hurricane this year.
Another earthquake,
right? And it's just, and so we within 2 weeks we had all the funds raised that we had asked. Actually, more than
right.
And so Haiti has been always a big part of St. Anthony.
Oh yeah.
And so for those of you that watch the Haiti, or you should go watch it with Jean.
Our heart is definitely in
for
Haiti.
sure.
We have a lot of friends down there,
and go ahead. I was gonna say our heart's also local too.
In Fountain Hills, every year we do Make a Difference Day, and this year we had 16 people participate on 2 homes, and we did things for the resident that they're not able to do themselves. And it was just a beautiful day. Loved it.
And a lot of you were outside doing yard work, right?
Yeah.
That's what a great day.
Yeah. It was fun.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and it made me kind of locally again, but our border ministry this year, they did they collected a lot.
They did. There was a call set out for any kind of assistance that we could help with the people seeking asylum coming across the borders. Regardless of how you feel about it one way or another, these people were really in desperate condition.
Absolutely.
And so St. Anthony, the people of St. Anthony, made up 325 little comfort bags.
Wow.
And it had just essentials in it that you would need when you're traveling. And these people were all traveling on foot. Yep. So we took it down to have them distributed down on the border between Mexico and Arizona.
Yeah. And of course, then our Santa sleigh was again this year, and that's collected for to go to a new Leaf. It's for Domestic Violence Center in Mesa, I believe. And we collected gifts for kiddos. We collected gift cards for the families.
Yeah, we had over 85 gift cards donated.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
wow.
So they were shopping.
I bet. Wow, I didn't realize. I knew there was a lot, but over 85. That's
over
wonderful.
85.
Holy moly!
It was great.
Yeah.
And then we have our needle crafters here at St. Anthony who, of course, can do it at home. They don't have to meet. But they make hats and scarves for different shelters. And then also they make these beautiful prayer shawls that each stitch is made with a prayer.
Yeah.
And they're distributed to people who are in grief or anxious because of medical situations or any kind of sadness. Or it's such a comfort.
It really is.
It's such a comfort.
And when we were in service and they would lay them out up or put them up front, it would overtake the altar, and then they would get their blessing before. And it's like, oh my word, it was like overflowing. So it's just quite a beautiful thing. And another thing that I think is really beautiful here particularly here at St. Anthony, is our Labyrinth and garden area. It's the back 90 or back 40 of St. Anthony.
It seems like 90.
It seems like 90. And it's just this beautiful thing that Jill spearheaded and keeps going. And it's just this very peaceful place.
And it's open to the public.
Yeah.
We're open sunrise to sunset.
Yep.
So you can come out and get your 10,000 steps
That's
in.
right.
Or less if that's what you desire. But we do live in a beautiful part of the world, and it's nice to be able to take advantage of it.
And it's fun to see some of the kids from the school next door come over and use it and walk it.
And our kids on Sunday mornings
yes.
go out there and do prayers on the Labyrinth.
It's cute, yeah.
So they know all about it at an early age.
Yes.
Which is fun. Yeah.
And then so I'm just thinking back to the holiday season. We had this amazing Christmas market, and the poinsettia sale was incredible. These poinsettias were the most beautiful poinsettias I've ever seen. Huge. I just couldn't get over it.
We got these poinsettias from a family-owned nursery down in Tucson. And they were magnificent when they brought them up, and we took them off the truck.
Yes.
They were like trees.
In fact, I remember somebody saying, like, I'm not going to put up my Christmas tree. I'm just going to use this as my tree because it was so
They were just beautiful.
Yeah.
They were really beautiful. And we had a Christmas market out in the courtyard, and the weather was perfect.
It was a beautiful day, and
it was.
What you could buy there was. I think I still have some treats. Well, I shouldn't say I still have some treats.
No,
They're
you
all
don't.
gone, but let's be
No,
honest.
you don't. They're gone.
They're gone.
Yeah,
But the soap,
yeah.
I still have some soap and some other great stuff. And we'll do that. I mean, that's something that we continue because that went all to. That was operating, right? That was like a fundraiser for St. Anthony to kind of help with cut the costs of that. So, and then of course we can't. This isn't really. It is an outreach, I guess. Think about the wonderful music that the choir makes. It's an outreach for sure.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
especially since we live stream.
Yeah.
People really enjoy the music, and we even have new members into the choir this year.
Their Christmas was wonderful. If you get a chance, go listen to the 4:00 Christmas Eve service.
Oh,
it was beautiful service, and so was the 6, but we live streamed the.
Yeah, we live stream the 4. Absolutely.
So.
And then our Pastoral Ministries were, of course, very busy. We have a companion ministry that keeps in touch with each person. They check in just to make sure everything's going good. And, that's so important, especially now.
For sure.
Some people feel so isolated. So they did a terrific job of keeping all of us in the loop and, just knowing that people know that you're not there.
Right. And I think that goes too with even the prayer chain and the healing prayers, particularly. Both of those are beautiful ministries of St. Anthony to know that, like, hey, can we put this person on the prayer chain? And then immediately you got people praying.
Absolutely.
And then if you're here on Sunday, you can literally go into St. Luke's Chapel and receive prayer any Sunday.
Yeah.
And it's just this.
The prayer ministers are outstanding.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it's been great. And boy, I hope we didn't leave anything out.
Yeah, I know. I'm like,
but if we did,
please let us know.
Yeah, let
Leave
us
a
know
comment.
for sure.
We'll
for
shout
sure.
you out there.
Yeah.
So now as we think about what 2021 was, now we kind of look forward to 2022.
Yep, here we are.
And what hopes we have for the new year and all this good stuff. And so resolutions. Ooh, everyone's like, I'm going to do this. It's these lofty goals that you've been thinking about for 20 years. And every year we're like, I'm going to try to do this. And then all of a sudden it's the 9th today. All right, it's done. I'm out. I'm done.
I can't do it.
That's too hard.
I can't lose that 20 pounds. I tried.
I tried 20 years ago. I've been trying for the last 20. I'm not going to get to that. So these resolutions are hopeless. They set us up for failure. They make us not feel good. They're not realistic. And so one of the things that you had mentioned was one word. So would you talk about
the
one word?
Well, I recently was listening to a podcast. I'm a podcast fanatic.
A junkie, if you will.
Yes, and I was listening to a podcast, and they were interviewing a man named Jimmy Page, and he had written a book maybe 2 decades ago called One Word That Will Change Your Life. And what the book is all about is that instead of making up these resolutions that usually are so difficult, you really can't do them, or that you don't have a roadmap to get there. You just have, this is what I want to happen, and no way of knowing how you're going to succeed. But what this man suggests is that you really think and meditate and pray about a word that will guide you for the new year. Yeah. And that you let this word be your filter for everything that you do, whether it's physically or emotionally or spiritually, that instead of saying, this, I want to attain this goal, you look at things and say, does this
match my word?
Match my word.
Yeah. Does this...
So I thought, well, I better find out what my word is. And so I wanted to have a word that was very goal-oriented. You know, I wanted a word like determined or successful or something like that. And every time I would think about it and ask God about it, he didn't like any of those words. And the word joy kept coming up. And I thought, oh, what a sappy word. I don't want joy.
I don't want that word.
And I think it was because I was thinking of happy and not joy. And boy, they're really different.
There's a huge difference.
They're really different, because happy is more dependent on what's going on at the moment. Yeah, exactly. And joy is more how you live your life, and it incorporates so much gratefulness, you know, and attentiveness. And so I thought, well, I'll think about it. And then I started reading my meditations for the new year. And the first week was joy, joy, joy. Every day, something else about joy. And I'm like, okay, I got it. It's joy.
Fine, I'll take it.
So since I've been using the word joy as my filter for what I do every day, I'm seeing joy everywhere. Nice. I mean, physically seeing joy written on
words everywhere. Not just that you're seeing joy.
No, and plus I'm seeing joy
That's
too.
Fun.
But it's really nice to think about doing something and then saying, does this give me joy, or does this give someone else joy?
Yeah. Yep.
So, so what about you?
So it's funny because after you had mentioned this, I listened to the podcast, and one thing that I had been thinking about even prior, and I don't, kind of like you, I didn't really want this word, but mine's patience. I know.
Oh, and you're a youth minister.
Exactly. And so like I have in my head, I have in my heart all of these things that, and maybe I don't think they're resolutions, but I have these goals that I want to attain. And of course, if I could do that, it would be tomorrow. But I have to be patient, and I have to trust that God is going to guide and direct where God wants to go with my life. And so I have to be patient, and I have to put the work in, put the time in, put the energy in. And I think it's challenging when I drive to be patient, because there's some, so it's not just like the big things in my life, but it also comes down to the little everything that I do. I'm like, okay, this person's 2 minutes late. Be patient. It's things like that. But so it's going to be there. It's going to be my word for the year. I'm going to filter things through patience. And in 2023, I'll be like, all right, I feel a little bit more patient.
Well, we'll have to check back in
a year.
Back
in and see where we're at.
And see
if we do.
Yeah, if we murdered the word.
That's right.
Or,
if we never want to hear it again.
Or if we're still good.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, well, Jill, thank you for this morning.
This was wonderful, as always.
Absolutely. And thank you all for watching.
Yeah.
Please leave a comment, subscribe, give us a thumbs up. We hope we encouraged you this morning and this afternoon, or wherever you're listening to this, to make the best of 2022. We're going to have another good year. But most of all, we encourage you to be on the lookout for those on-the-way moments that may come your way. So bye for now, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.